Are you looking for the best business laptops? In this video, we will look at some of the 5 best business laptops on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. HP OmniBook Ultra Flip 14. The best business laptop we've tested is the HP OmniBook Ultra Flip 14, 2024. This 2-in-1 convertible is among the most premium-feeling and well-built laptops you can find in the Windows world. Its compact design makes it easy to carry around, and its battery lasts easily through a typical 8-hour workday. Featuring Intel's Lunar Lake processors, it can easily power through productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, spreadsheets, and presentations. Plus, since this is a tube-in-one with pen input support, you can use it as a tablet, take handwritten notes, draw, or set it in tent mode for media consumption. Speaking of media consumption, this device delivers an amazing viewing experience, as it sports a sharp and colorful OLED display. Of course, there are downsides to consider when it comes to OLEDs, like their risk of permanent burn-in and flicker. The latter can bother people sensitive to flickering, causing eye strain. Other aspects that make this laptop amazing to work on are its tactile keyboard, haptic touchpad, and excellent 4K webcam. There's a fingerprint sensor and facial recognition camera for added security and quick logins. Its port selection is decent, though there's no USB-A or HDMI port, so you might need to carry a dongle or dock. Number 2. Acer Swift Go 14. Our mid-range pick is the Acer Swift Go 14, 2024. This thin and light 14-inch model offers many features that are normally found on higher-end devices. One standout feature at this price point is the display options. You can choose between an FHD plus IPS or a 2.8K OLED panel for the display. The OLED display is sharper and better suited for color-critical work, which is great for small businesses that need to do some light photo editing. Just remember that OLEDs are susceptible to permanent burn-in and will drain the battery faster. As for performance, it features Intel Meteor Lake CPUs, which are powerful enough to handle fairly demanding tasks. You can get up to 32 GB of RAM and 2 TB of storage, though only the latter is user replaceable. This laptop feels very well built despite having a little more plastic in its construction than premium models like the HP OmniBook Ultra Flip 14, 2024, above. It has a spacious, albeit slightly mushy keyboard, a large and responsive touchpad, a 1080p webcam with facial recognition support, and a wide port selection that includes 2 Thunderbolt 4s and an HDMI. Its battery life is excellent at around 11 hours of light use. You can charge the laptop via USB-C. Number 3. Asus VivoBook 16M1605. The best laptop for business we've tested for when you're shopping on a budget is the Asus VivoBook 16M1605, 2023. This ultra-portable feels well built for the price and isn't overly bulky for a 16-inch device, so it's still easy to carry around. You can get this laptop with an AMD Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 CPU, which are more than adequate to handle general productivity tasks. As for the RAM, it has 8 GB soldered onto the motherboard and a SODIMM slot, so if you can't find a model with 16 GB, you can always get an 8 GB model and upgrade it yourself. Its battery life is okay at around 8 hours of light use, which means you may need a quick charge to get through a typical workday, depending on your usage. This model delivers a pretty good user experience overall. It has a spacious full-size keyboard with a numpad, which is handy for those working with lots of numbers, as well as a large and responsive touchpad. You get Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity, a fingerprint sensor for quick logins, and a decent port selection with 3 USB-As, a USB-C, and an HDMI. Unfortunately, the USB-C doesn't support video output, so you'll have to use the HDMI port to connect an external display. The main drawback of this laptop is the display. Its 1080p resolution looks reasonably sharp at this screen size. However, it's quite dim at around 250 candelas per square meter of brightness, so visibility may be an issue in well-lit rooms. It also looks washed out due to its narrow color gamut. Number 4. Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i Chromebook 14. If you want to spend as little as possible, get the Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i Chromebook 14, 2023. This 14-inch Chromebook is a great option for anyone needing a simple device to do light work like responding to emails, text processing, spreadsheets, and video playback. The Core i3 configuration, paired with a FHD touch-sensitive display, 8 GB of RAM, and 128 GB of storage, is often on sale for around $400 directly from Lenovo. There are cheaper configurations. However, we don't recommend them unless you have an extremely light workload and don't mind compromising on the display quality. The touch-sensitive FHD display gets bright enough for well-lit settings and is reasonably color-accurate. Above the display sits an excellent 1080p webcam, so your colleagues and clients can see and hear you clearly on video calls. The keyboard feels spacious but a tad mushy, and the touchpad is small and not always responsive. For those new to Chrome OS, know that this operating system is limited in the type of applications you can install, so you must ensure you can do everything through a Chrome browser or Android app. Number 5. Apple MacBook Air 15. Although Windows is the most used operating system in the corporate business world, some of you may prefer or have the option to use a MacBook, especially in this remote work era. If so, we recommend the Apple MacBook Air 15, 2024, one of the best laptops for business and personal use we've tested. This laptop is an incredibly well-built ultra-portable that comes with Apple's M3 silicon. Its performance is excellent for most productivity tasks, including some light photo or video editing. Its 15-inch display gives you plenty of room for split-screen multitasking, and it gets bright enough to combat glare, even outdoors in broad daylight. It also features the best in-class battery life, so you can comfortably get through a full workday on a single charge. The user experience is great. The keyboard feels spacious and tactile, and the touchpad is large and responsive. You get an excellent 1080p webcam, so your colleagues can see and hear you clearly on video calls. Port selection is the major pain point here, as you only get 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 ports. While you can use these to connect to 2 external monitors, this only works if the lid is closed. If you plan to use an external monitor with the laptop closed or prefer a more compact device for on-the-go use, you can get the Apple MacBook Air 13, 2024. It's cheaper, but the speakers don't sound as good.